Hello and welcome to Ravensworth Nurseries. Most of you know who we are and what we do, but we're going to do a quick demonstration for you, well 3 different ones, in the hope that you'll be able to get out and do some gardening whilst we're all under these very different circumstances to normal. Obviously it's quite early in the season and you may be a bit concerned as to what to do with your plants. I'll show you a very good tip shortly, which is actually take a pair of scissors and just do this. Cut them all to pieces. It doesn't matter, they're not going to die. In fact, it'll only do them good. So now you've got a plant that size, which will last a lot longer. Obviously, you'll have to keep all of these planters inside until the end of May when the frost's gone. What else can I tell you?
You could also root those cuttings.
Very true. If you've got any spare pots of compost, just take the end of the plant like that and stick it. You'll have to imagine that my hand is a pot. Stick it in just like that, water it, and hopefully you'll get more plants. In the meantime, if you are wanting to get out gardening but are worried about travelling, we are offering a service whereby we can take phone call orders, payments over the telephone. We'll either load your car boots or you can come, or we can try and deliver to you. We're hoping to cover a 20-mile radius. If you check out our Facebook page, you'll see a rough map of where we're hoping to go. Right, so I'll let the ladies start planting.
Do you want me to go first? Yeah.
Right.
That's not in the way, is it?
The compost that we're using is a multi-purpose compost. It already has a slow-release fertiliser in it. As we say at all of the meetings, don't be shy about filling up the container completely to the top with compost. It's easier to take it out than it is to start putting compost around the roots. So Rosie's going to use some of our trio combinations. As it's only March, we maybe won't put quite so many in as we do in June. You won't want them to be too overgrown by the time they're able to put them out. So we've got a geranium here, which will give a bit of height for the centre of the tub. We're also trying to plant you a few patio planters, just so that you see how to do those, as you know already how to do hanging baskets. It is the same principle. So we're still working on the idea of 1 plant per inch diameter. This looks to be about a 14-inch diameter container, so we'll put at least 14 plants in.
Yeah, and there's like a trio of plants.
Yeah, so there's 3 in each of these that she's putting in. And as I say, don't be shy about giving it a haircut just to keep it under control. We will leave a few gaps this time, as I say. So you can see that Rosie's making a hole and taking out some compost to make space for the plant roots. If you do happen to break any of the plant off, don't worry about it. As long as the root's intact, it will continue to grow.
These are all different combinations, aren't they?
Yeah. We can maybe put some of the labels to show you what they are.
Yeah. That one.
The trios are a great idea because you can either do colour combinations, themes to suit you, or just a general mixture. And all of these plants that are in there are actually ideal for hanging baskets as well as tubs. You can see how easy it is to fill these. One tip, when you are taking your compost out, make sure the compost stays level with the top of the container. Otherwise, the minute that you water it, the water will just flow all over the sides and make a mess.
So I've got room for one more.
So we've got at least 14 plants in there, which should hopefully give a lovely display while you're spending time in your gardens over the summer.
You can always take cuttings off them as well, can't you? While,
Yeah,
while they're
that's it.
growing, just keep cutting them back.
All of these will root quite easily.
That's that one.
And there we go. That's the first one completed. Okay. So, next one.
Leave that first.
I'm going to get the giggles, sorry.
It's true for me getting the giggles.
So again, we're going to fill the container to the top with compost. Jackie's going to use slightly a different way of doing it by using individual plants. Again, there'll be a selection of hanging basket and tub plants, including fuchsias and geraniums. All of these are part of our Watch and Grow range, which is a range that we developed here on the nursery 30 years ago to allow early gardening. Basically, it's a way that you can actually grow things on at home without having the hassle of sowing seeds, taking cuttings yourself. They're always sold as a green, well, normally, some of those are in flower, they're normally sold as a green plant, requiring a colour label so that you can see what you get. When we send these out to other garden centres, they arrive with a full point of sale. So they go with a big bed card behind them and each plant individually labelled. But they're a great idea. They do take quite a lot of effort out of starting off your plants in the early part of the season. So as you can see, she's put a couple of plants in the centre, upright, so that you get a bit of height. And she's just going to work her way around, putting individual plants in, all of which will give colour and fragrance. You don't have to completely fill it this time, because they've got 3 months to grow.
I like it full. I leave gaps.
Again, with these, you can take the tops out of everything except for the geraniums. It will make it bush out, and that's only better. The more branches you get, the more flowers you get. And please consider, whatever you're doing, you must keep them inside until the end of May. I can't say that often enough, so I probably will. And again, the principle's the same as filling a hanging basket. All the plants are the same, you just need a bit of height and a bit of trailing stuff around the edges.
Do they need to be in a sunny spot inside?
Not really, as long as they need light and they need a bit of warmth. If they're kept around 16, possibly even a little bit cooler than that, they'll be absolutely fine, they'll just continue growing. Good idea is convert the conservatory into a greenhouse, or a porch, or a window ledge. I've heard of all sorts of methods that people grow these plants. Wallpapering table in front of the spare bedroom window. You name it, they've all tried it. And quite successfully as well. There's some new varieties there. This one in particular is a new Petunia, which is a splash. That's not disease, that's actually meant to look like that.
We had some last year, didn't we? The blue ones?
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Moon, the Stars, Venus.
That's
all
right.
the different-
That's probably enough, do you
nice.
think?
Yeah, that's not so bad. So there we go, another colourful planter ready for growing into the summer. This time we're going to do something slightly different. Obviously you're still using the same patio planter, but we're going to do an edible one. So we've got here the trios of herbs again. The same as last time, as they'll grow quite quickly, it's always good just to cut them right back, and don't ever be frightened of doing it through the growing season. All it'll do is it'll stop the plant getting very woody at the bottom, and you'll continue with fresh new growth, which is obviously what you're going to need as it's a long season. So that's quite low. I don't even mind going smaller than that, but you can see the change. So this time, as a bit of a treat, we've got some hang on.
Sorry.
It's a Patio Raspberry, quite unusual. Obviously suitable for tubs and containers because not everybody has a vegetable garden or a border that they can put them in. So we've put that one into the centre. As it's an upright, it does actually grow quite tall, but it'll make a nice centrepiece to what we're going to put around the outside. And everybody's favourite strawberries are always good in any patio container. So we've got a couple of strawberries here. And don't forget, all of these herbs will look good in your gin and tonic while hopefully we're enjoying a good summer. In fact, the one that she's got now is Punch Fix. Not quite sure what you do with all of it, but there's French tarragon, a sweet herb and woodruff, which apparently has got a perfect flavour. It'll be interesting to find out. Let us know. This one's ideal for barbecues, so we've got sage, lemon thyme and oregano. Like my cool mint cocktail.
Oh yes, thanks.
What I'll do is I'll put these labels back in just as we did earlier with the flowering one, and then at least you know what you've actually got there. This is actually 3 different types of mint and it smells lovely. Sorry for interfering with your planter.
It's alright. I don't think I've got that one, have we?
No. In this one we've got sage and oregano and thyme. We called it stuffing mix because we weren't actually quite sure what they wanted us to call it. Again, never be frightened. You're going to be picking these herbs anyway, but if you are keeping them under cover for a while, don't let them get too leggy. Just keep cutting bits off. Obviously, while the herbs are growing, you can be using them, so whilst you're protecting them for a while, keep using them while they're growing indoors. This one's Asia Wok. It's the mushroom herb, which strangely enough does actually taste and smell of mushrooms. This one here is the ginger mint, which is absolutely gorgeous. And in here there is a curry plant, and that one is actually edible. There are some ornamental types. This one is an edible one. And the last one we've got the curry plant again, and rosemary and olive herb. And if you love olives, you'll love that herb because it certainly tastes and smells of them. There we go, quick, simple, edible patio container, which will hopefully keep you going right the way through the summer.